Do their claims have any, do they hold any water? Do their claims have any legitimacy at all?
I have not yet heard a claim that is in any way legitimate that would substantially alter or alter a single vote. No.
A few things you can do. First, look for trusted sources of information, like election officials. Second, only share those trusted sources of information.
This is private property. It's private property. Go get a warrant. Listen, man, this is private property. They're not wanted here. So do your jobs.
Well, her job is...
Well, no, your job is to remove people that are not wanted here. We're wanted here. They're not.
She's hiding her name tag. She had a
I'm
name
not.
tag.
It's right here. It's marked here. You can see my name.
They're just doing their job.
There we go.
You should all be wearing masks.
I'm not doing anything wrong.
Don't worry about my health. My health isn't your concern. Show me the law.
Well, I think we gotta go, John.
You have to leave. You guys have to leave.
You guys need to leave.
You have to leave.
Right now you're trespassing.
You guys are breaking the law right now. You're breaking the law. Go outside. No, go on your phone outside. Go on your phone outside. If you need to leave.
Get out! 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 Get out!
Take your commie shit elsewhere!
Hey everybody, it's Everett with Ohio for Freedom. If you were waiting for the final nail in the coffin, the final straw to break the camel's back regarding Fox News, it happened yesterday, November 22nd. We're going to talk about that, an update on Sidney Powell, and we're going to talk about those great Americans from Buffalo, New York. So let's get started.
I hear the sweet sound of freedom, and I won't be
So the biggest piece of orchestrated propaganda I believe I have ever seen happened yesterday, not on CNN, not on MSNBC, but it happened on Fox News with Captain Comover, Eric Shawn, interviewing this Dominion spokesperson. Doesn't even work directly for Dominion. They have to have a PR firm to represent them. And that happened yesterday. So we're going to talk about that, but I want to ask a favor, and I hate to ask it, but please, if you're seeing this video on Facebook, if you can hit the like and follow button, that would really help us. We've gotten about 500,000 views in the last 28 days, and 2 videos ago, got hit with one of these fake fact checks. And as usual, you open up the fact check and it's talking about stuff that wasn't even included in the post, but that's what Zuckerberg does. So if you can find us on YouTube, Rumble, find us on Parler, find us on MeWe, it's appreciated because I'm not gonna stop speaking out. That's just not gonna happen, regardless of what the powers that shouldn't be in the world of big tech are doing. So I'm gonna take this interview that Captain Comover did at Fox News with Michael Steele. We're gonna dissect that. We're gonna tear it apart. But I do want to play, before we get into that, I want to play just a clip from Newsmax, Sidney Powell, and she is discussing yet another Fox-related item, and that is the debacle between her and Tucker Carlson. We're going to play that, and then we're going to get rolling. Let's go.
You had a bit of a rub with Tucker Carlson this week, who basically said you didn't have any evidence when they asked you to come on. What is the truth of the matter there? Because that made a lot of news.
Oh, yes. Well, he sent me some very abrasive and disrespectful emails or text messages, and I responded politely, offering him a different person as a witness who could explain it. I simply didn't have time to do it then, and I sent him a copy of one of the compelling affidavits that we have in the case. And apparently that wasn't sufficient for him. He was having a little bit of a tantrum.
So that is Sidney Powell's take, and that's the take that I'm going to take, because with what has happened, and I am a longtime fan of Tucker Carlson, but just for what it's worth, I am done with Fox News. I'm going to continue for a while to observe with morbid curiosity what Tucker Carlson does, and I imagine he is under an immense amount of pressure. But think about this. What Sidney Powell is alleging is treason, and it's a coup. It's the biggest thing to happen in our nation's history, frankly. And even if you were ready to present all your evidence, which, by the way, you present that in court, but if you had that ready to present, think of how difficult it would be to present that kind of information in a television format, and think about how long, if you were going to accurately present that, how long it would take you to prepare to be able to present that in an hour segment that's broken up in 5-minute intervals. So it's to demand, this is the same media that for 3 years lied to us about a Russian hoax that never existed. So I'm sticking with Sidney. And this most recent tweet from Rudy Giuliani, that doesn't concern me at all. No, I don't believe that the president is disappointed because she doesn't have the evidence. I don't know exactly what it means. Maybe by her acting as a private individual, maybe there's things that she can't do, that she can do, that she couldn't do if she's on the president's team. But listen, she stood for 3 years defending Michael Flynn, I believe, pro bono. And no, I'm sticking with Sidney. So we're going to talk about this Captain Combover interview on Fox News with this Dominion software PR firm representative Michael Steele. And to set that up, I want to play a clip that was from, I believe he's the speaker of the Pennsylvania legislature. He's the speaker, he's the Republicans, because Dominion no-showed him on Friday. They were going to show up, they were going to speak to the legislature, and then they lawyered up at the last moment. Why? And by the way, when we get to the interview with Captain Combover, he never even mentioned that, which that ought to be a clue. But let's play this clip from the Pennsylvania legislature.
Instead of running towards the light of honesty and integrity, Dominion voting systems retreated to the darkness. Why? Why would a vendor of public goods fear discussing their products sold to the public for the public good? If Dominion's products were successful and operated as they were supposed to, why wouldn't Dominion take the opportunity to publicly review its success?
Well, exactly. Those of you that maybe you're a sales rep, or, if you're a vendor and you've got a client that has some real concerns and there's some issues, what do? Do you hide from them? I don't think so. That's exactly what Dominion did. They were requested to appear, they agreed to appear, and then they no-showed at the last minute. That doesn't look suspicious? You lawyer up at the last minute? That doesn't look suspicious? By the way, I don't know this gentleman's name, and I've only seen him in this one appearance here, but I think he's pretty sharp. You might be seeing more of him down the road. But, all right, I'm going to play the first clip that I've selected from Captain Combover's interview with the PR firm that's representing Dominion. And think about this. They won't meet with their customers. They won't meet with their end users, but they will trot out a guy from a PR firm to try to make a case in the court of public opinion. And this clip happened near the end of the interview, but it is such a softball pitched by a goofball. It gives you a sense of the general tone of this supposed interview. Take a look.
Do their claims have any, do they hold any water? Do their claims have any legitimacy at all?
I have not yet heard a claim that is in any way legitimate that would substantially alter or alter a single vote. No.
See what I mean? Oh, that's a tough interview with hard-hitting Eric Schoen. That's like the 10-year-old kid that was smoking in the garage. His dad walks in. The garage is full of smoke. There's a smoldering cigarette butt laying on the ground. And the dad would say, "You're not smoking, are you, son?" "Oh, no, Dad. I'm not smoking. Absolutely not." "Okay, just wanted..." I mean, this is just absolutely ridiculous. Now, watch how Captain Combover handles the fact that the state of Texas on 2 or 3 occasions rejected Dominion software because it had all kind of vulnerabilities, all kind of weaknesses. But look how this is handled in this hard-hitting interview.
Texas had some problems with their machines. They weren't certified. Dan Patrick, Lieutenant Governor, called them junk. What was that?
Well, look, the great thing about our system is that every state gets to certify their own equipment. Texas, being Texas, is a little bit different. They were afraid that our system was a little too complex, and they chose to go elsewhere.
I don't know about y'all, but if there's one thing I can't stand, it's snide condescension followed by complete incompetence and buffoonery. Texas, being Texas, felt it was too complicated. Do you hear that East Coast, Washington, D.C. arrogance talking about those Claude Hayseed Hicks that live in Texas? I got news for you, Mr. Steele. I wouldn't be traveling to Texas anytime soon because you're likely to get your condescending East Coast butt kicked, and rightly so. That is not what happened at all. The state of Texas looked at your software, Mr. Steele, and found problems with it. They found security issues with it. They found that it could be easily hacked by a seventh grader with a cell phone. It could be hacked on a Wi-Fi system, and obviously there were issues after the votes had been casted. But what did Captain Comover do? He just let it go by. He didn't bring up any of the facts. Well, I really believe that these two people went over their talking points before this supposed interview ever took place. We're going to move on to the next clip. Let's go.
Can a poll worker change the codes to vote for, steal the election for Joe Biden, for example?
No, because if they change the code, no matter what a poll worker does, and we're talking about elected officials, we're talking about nonpartisan poll watchers.
The central allegations about Dominion software never had anything to do with poll workers changing anything. It was the fact that the machines could be hacked after the fact. But Captain Comover is not a journalist, okay? Then, this gentleman, Michael Steele, says this a couple of times in the interview. Elected officials and nonpartisan poll watchers. Well, I got news for you, sir. We don't want nonpartisan poll watchers. We want Democrats and we want Republicans watching the polls, because that's how you ensure honesty. And then he repeatedly says elected officials, as though elected officials can never be corrupt. Got a little exercise for you, ladies and gentlemen. Dogpile up or DuckDuckGo up a search of Philadelphia voter fraud, and you're going to have a lot of stories come up, a lot of factual stories about voter fraud. Now, in this entire interview, Captain Comover never does a pushback. He never challenges what Michael Steele says, not once. The one time that he reiterates what this Michael Steele says, it's to re-emphasize what he just said. It's the only time he does it. It's as though he is there to amplify what this guy is saying. Watch for it. You can spot it.
We can do an audit. We can do a recount. We can physically match a printed ballot to a vote recorded by an electronic machine.
And that's called the paper trail. I mean, Sidney Powell is out there saying that the Democrats had 35,000 votes around the country. And when they had a hand recount in Georgia, the hand recount matched your machines, the Dominion machines.
Man, anybody with a computer has more information than this Eric Shawn, this Captain Comover. First of all, Eric, Sidney Powell didn't say there were 35,000 votes that were switched. Actually, if you paid any attention, Eric, she said it was something like 2 or 3 million. And then you go on and you talk about the recount that happened in Georgia. Well, the problem about the recount in Georgia is they recounted the same non-signature verified ballots. Have you done any investigation of anything that Lynn Wood has to say? He goes into that in quite detail. Why is it some little dude from Cincinnati that just has an opinion seems to know more about this than a guy that's actually paid big bucks to be a supposed news guy? Let's go on to the next clip.
Are you foreign funded?
No, we're funded by American capitalists.
Apologize for the audio on that one. There was a mic open when we recorded that. But boy, this Eric, he's a hard-hitting journalist. Are you foreign funded? No. Okay. He'd make a great prosecutor, wouldn't he? Can't you just see him in court? Sir, did you kill your wife? No. No more questions, Your Honor. I mean, he doesn't dig down at all. Did he ever ask about the relation? Why is there an office in Canada? Why is there an office in the United States? Didn't they previously purchase Sequoia and Sequoia voting systems? And who funded them and where did that all go? He doesn't cover any of that. This was not journalism. This was propaganda, and it wasn't particularly well done at that.
The president calls your company a, quote, radical left company. The software created for Hugo Chavez to steal the election of Venezuela, that software allegedly imported into the United States to steal the election for Joe Biden. Is that true?
No. We are a nonpartisan American company. We have no connections with Venezuela whatsoever. Nothing that they're saying is remotely true.
Okay, so once again, Captain Comeover, or should I say Captain Goofball, lobs another softball over the plate so that this Dominion representative can knock it out of the park, which a third grader could do. And the question is Dominion a radical left company? And of course, Mr. Steele is going to say no. Well, if they're not radical left at all, how do you explain Eric Coomer? How do you explain this guy that is with Antifa? Joe Altman has shown us all his social media. You've seen all of his Antifa posts, his hatred of America posts, his hatred of President Trump post, and Captain Comeover doesn't even bring it up. And then there's the issue of what about Peter Neffinger? Okay, Peter Neffinger is CEO of Smartmatic, and Peter Neffinger is now on the Biden transition team. So the question is, and Captain Comeover never asked it, does Dominion anywhere ever use Smartmatic software? He never asked that because there's no getting around it that Smartmatic was founded by engineers from Venezuela. Even Wikipedia will tell you that. So either Dominion at least sometimes uses Smartmatic software or they don't. But Captain Comeover is not there to conduct a real interview. He's there to promote propaganda. And I know this has gone long, but I really just wanted to put this one in the grave. And I'm going to show you how he ended this supposed interview with a summary propaganda statement. And you might want to grab a brown paper bag just in case you have a little bit of stomach distress.
And finally, you've been around Washington a lot. You're going to get attacked because they're going to call you a rhino because you've worked for John Boehner and for others, including Mr. Ryan, who's on the board of Fox, for example, and Jeb Bush. As someone who works in Washington, as someone who is involved in public policy, what do these type of allegations do to the integrity and credibility and belief in our election system? What do they do to the very foundation of the republic that we hold so dear?
That we hold so dear. Give me a break, Captain Comeover. Folks, everything in this interview was leading up to this pre-orchestrated moment where he could make this grandiose statement. And here's the statement, and you need to realize this. You skeptical, Dominion suspicious Americans out there, you're not suspicious of Dominion. You're suspicious of everything that makes our country great that we hold so dear. He did mention John Boehner. He did mention Paul Ryan. I didn't know that Paul Ryan was on the board of Fox until a couple of weeks ago. Kind of explains a lot. And this guy's also worked with Jeb Bush. That kind of explains a lot. But what this statement did was just, this is the summary little bow of propaganda. And I am going to take the time and play this gentleman's response. And you'll see he's echoing exactly what Eric Sean. This was all orchestrated. But I got news for Captain Comeover. We're not fooled. You're not very good. You're lucky to have that gig because you're not very intelligent to begin with, and you've stepped into something that is way over your head because the American people aren't stupid, and your ratings are going to continue to go down. Let's let this guy make his last little CCP statement, and then we'll bring this in for a landing. Here we go.
Look, I'm a conservative Republican. I've worked for conservative causes, candidates, and elected officials for nearly 20 years. I think that these allegations are not allegations against Dominion voting systems. They are against our elected officials at the state and local level, bipartisan poll watchers, the very system that inspires the confidence that we have and the love of our country is under attack through these allegations, and it is all our obligation to defend the truth, to defend democracy.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is up to all of us, red, yellow, black and white, all that are precious in Jesus' sight, to stand up and defend democracy and defend America, and yes, defend Dominion voting systems. Conservative, Republican, my rear end. Anyway, folks, I've made my case. I don't know about you, I'm done with Fox News. I got a little bonus at the end of this video that ought to put you in a good mood as we head into Thanksgiving. And it's those brave business owners from New York. So I'm going to sign off. I'm going to play that in its entirety for you. It's the best patriotic 5 minutes you're going to hear in a long time. I hope you got something out of this video. I hope you can so clearly see that and this is hard for me to say because I've never followed the daytime programs and all that, but the couple of evening shows, Sean and Tucker, I've watched a lot of that stuff, and man, do I feel betrayed. But the good news is you don't have to stay in that position. You can jump ship, and there's a lot of alternatives. Have a really great Thanksgiving, and if we don't talk to you before, until next time, God bless you. God bless your family. God bless the state of Ohio. We haven't forgotten about you, Ohio. And God bless the United States of America.
I hear the sweet sound of freedom, and I won't be
long.
You're on private property. You need to leave.
We're asking to appeal to your compassionate side. I know you're a taxpayer. Our tax dollars guarantee your guys' paychecks. But some of these people actually work for their money, and they don't want to lose their livelihood. I've lost friends, I've lost family who've killed themselves. I've seen clients die because they've lost their livelihood.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I know you are, and I'm asking for you to guys have some compassion for the people that have lost everything.
We do have compassion for people who
Okay,
have
well,
lost
you need to go
everything.
have compassion out in the parking lot.
But-
This is private property.
This
This is private property. This is private property. It's private property.
I
Go get
didn't
a
argue
warrant.
that.
Listen, man, this is private property. They're not wanted here. So do your jobs.
Well, her job is...
Well, no, your job is to remove people that are not wanted here.
You have a permit
We're
from the
wanted
health
here.
department.
They're not.
She's
hiding her name tag. She had her
I'm
name
not.
tag.
It's right here. It's right here. You can see my name.
They're just
tag.
doing their job.
There we go.
You should all be wearing masks. How come
I'm not
none of you
doing
have
anything
masks
wrong.
on?
Don't worry about my health. My health isn't your
You're
concern.
meant to be wearing a mask. It's a government
Okay, well,
mandate.
then write me up.
It's the law.
Okay, then take me to jail.
It's not the law.
Then take me to jail. Show me the law. Show me the law. Show me the law.
Well, I think we gotta go, John.
You have to leave. You guys have to leave.
You guys need to leave.
have to leave.
Right now, you're trespassing without a warrant. You need to leave.
Civil
You need
disobedience
to
starts
leave.
now.
You're trespassing.
We're not
Were you
trespassing.
You're
invited onto the
trespassing.
property?
Doesn't matter.
Then
We
you're
have a right to be
trespassing.
here.
Then get a warrant. Go get a warrant.
You need a warrant.
Go get a warrant.
Otherwise you're trespassing.
Yes, you do.
Come back with a warrant or leave.
Don't write the law. The laws are written.
Go get a warrant. You guys are breaking the law right now. You're breaking the law. Go outside. No, go on your
They've
phone
been asked to
outside.
leave several
Go on your phone
occasions now.
outside.
I would really like it if you
Where
would
did
stop
you hear the
shouting at me.
report
I haven't
from?
done
Okay, we
anything
would like if you would break the law. We would like if you break the law.
Who reported
So
it?
leave.
Who reported it? Who reported it?
You know what? I don't know.
Yeah,
Because
it's anonymous, right? It's
Yes, it
anonymous.
is.
They
But it's a
can't be
legitimate
anonymous.
complaint.
You need to
It
know
can
your
be,
accuser. You need to
that's
know. It
not-
cannot
Okay,
be
wait,
anonymous.
you gotta go get a warrant.
It
That's not
cannot
how
be
health
anonymous.
department
It
do
cannot
it.
be
You
anonymous.
gotta go get a warrant.
You don't get the
You gotta go
right
get
to
a warrant.
policies. You
It's
don't get to
code
violate the
enforcement.
Constitution.
This
It does
isn't
not
the
matter.
same
You
as
don't
that.
circumvent or subvert the Constitution.
Someone call the news.
That's the way it
News here
works.
too.
Get the news.
Call the news.
Okay, Miss, you need to leave.
Get out! 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 This is a Black Lives Matter protest.
You guys got to
Turn
go
your
to the
head.
road. You got to go to the road.
We will not comply. We will not comply. We will not comply. We will not comply. We will not comply.
This is a protest, guys.
Comply.
We do not have to
will not
disband.
comply.
It is a protest.
comply.
This is a lawful protest. We will not comply. We will not comply. We will not comply. We will not comply.
Walk them out. They
We
need to
will
leave.
not comply.
To the road. To the road. And they are breaking the law. This would be a good radio show for you.
Fucking New Age Nazis is what they are.
Who's on the phone? Adolf Hitler?
Every county sheriff show up. We had this Department of Health Commission show up here. This is their vehicle. This is their vehicle. Right here. Their license plate. Okay, got it? Oh.
Take your commie shit elsewhere!
Leave. How dare you try to do this?